You're gonna say it, and I'm gonna. You're gonna say it, and I'm gonna.
That's all right.
Don't.
What?
Because you're gonna say it, and
What's
I'm
wrong
gonna
with
laugh.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Commonwealth Picker. We are going to do our antique booth video, and we just opened our third antique booth, but this last month we only had the two. We had the one at Needful Things upstairs and the one at Commonwealth Picker, the one at Bell Treasures downstairs. So I think I'm going to talk about Bell Treasures, if that's okay with you, and you're going to talk a little bit about Needful Things. We're not going to go over each and every one. We'll give you an overview of what sold, a couple interesting items maybe, and then tell you how much money we made this month and tell you a little bit about the new booth. So do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Go ahead.
All right. So I have Bell Treasures. So just to give you an idea, the total amount that we got for the month was $300, $301, let me find it, $306. So just to remind you, if you're new to the show, the booth is $45 a month, and we pay 10% on top of that for every item that sells. So we made, I think, $241, something like that, is what the check that came to us. And the amount of money we put into those items was about $80. When we talk about the other booth, we put a lot less money into that booth. It was really one item that was an item that we paid a lot for, and that was the Rock'em Sock'em robots. And we still made money on it. We made, I think, about 40 bucks on it. But that was the big item. Almost everything else was just nickels and dimes and things that we didn't pay much for at all. We've been bundling together much more than we used to at the yard sales in order to get stuff for the booth. So we're doing pretty good so far on the items we're selling as far as cost of goods. So just let me give you an idea. So we've sold quite a few records. We sold probably close to $60 in records and CDs, which reminds me of something I heard. Sorry, I'm filibustering here. That records last year outsold CDs for the first time in like 30 years, which I thought was an interesting little topic. But we're selling both. We're selling DVDs, CDs, and records. So I would say that almost half of our actual sales have been either records, CDs, or DVDs. And we've sold some other interesting things.
Do you throw cassettes in there at all?
Well, I would, except for we only sold 2 cassettes this month. So I'm thinking and I'm hoping that cassettes are going to start to sell. They're also not displayed very well, would you say? At that booth, they're not displayed very well. And so at the new booth that we have, I've displayed them a lot better, make them a little bit more accessible, and we'll see if we can sell a few more. Hopefully we can. That new booth's going to be mostly media. But we did sell a couple of them. We sold some signs, some metal signs. Sold a few books, not as many books this month as we did last month, for sure. Sold a few pieces of jewelry that you worked hard on. We sold an Eneman plush, some fidget spinners that we had. We sold, now they put DVD. They don't tell you which DVD, but for whoever was working that one day put Blazing Saddles DVD, so that one sold for $2. A stained glass window sold for $14, and it had a crack in it. A vintage pitcher. Do you know what that was?
Bells. It was just a small glass pitcher that.
Okay. Wasn't that Tang pitcher? Was it just a small glass pitcher?
That sold. Design fruit of some sort on it.
Was it something we bought? Oh, I think I know what it was. That's right. I think I got it at Goodwill.
Grammy.
Oh, my mom, yeah. Commonwealth Grammy out there. If you're listening, it's that little pitcher with the fruit on it that you got. Sold for $7.
Yeah, red and orange.
Okay.
Were the colors.
All right. And a lunchbox that we got with Deals and Dives down North Carolina. We paid 50 cents for it. We got
That's here. The crushed lunchbox was from.
Okay, what lunchbox did we sell then? Oh, I know what it was. It was a Little Mermaid lunchbox.
There was a Garfield lunchbox.
Garfield lunchbox. I wish they'd tell you on there. Anyway, a jar of tiny animals we did sell for $4.
For the full price? Yes, I did mark
$4.
them down though.
We have marked them down. Some Pyrex. I don't know. I think they're maybe Amber Visions Corningware sold for $5. We sold 2 of those. Nightmare Before Christmas sold. A Halloween broom sold. Those are also Happy Little Accident things. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to total up the Happy Little Accident items that sold, and we're going to add that to our list downstairs and keep you updated on that. A vintage hammer for 50 cents. We got that one at the yard sale that the guy was giving things away at, basically. And bunches and bunches of DVDs. Nothing amazing other than the Rock'em Sock'em robots. And that's Rudolph Monopoly sold. That was good, 10 bucks, I think, something like that. And doilies? Tell them about your doilies.
They were just in a giant Ziploc bag in Goodwill. And I've seen those when I've walked through antique booths. Sometimes they're for sale and sometimes they use them just to decorate. So it was a big bag. I opened it up and started looking and I couldn't even count how many, it was 15, 20. And they wanted $1.99, so I knew they could sell. Some of them were larger, and so I would do $1 or $2. Some of them were just 50 cents, but they were all really vintage and really intricate, the handmade crocheted. So they were cute.
Okay. And of course the Rock'em Sock'em robots, we had $100 on that, and I think they got a 10% discount, sold for 90. So we ended up making about 40 bucks on it. So, but everything else in there, we paid virtually nothing for. I mean, all of this stuff might add up to be 25 bucks, 30 bucks max. Tupperware, we only sold one thing of Tupperware out of this booth. One, the entire month. And I'm sure we sold more out of that.
Not the case for this.
All right, go ahead and tell them about Needful Things.
Okay, so Needful Things has us making $211.50. So once all is said and done with fees, it comes about $142. So we sold a CNC, one of the old that you pull the handle and it spins around and tells you animals. I think that was a Sesame Street.
Yeah, I got that the same place that we got that crushed lunchbox.
Yes,
we got that down there. A lot of kid stuff. I didn't mean to interrupt,
it's okay.
but we sold some stuffed animal bears and an Ernie puppet from here as well. Speaking of kid stuff, so a lot of kid stuff. And I just saw a couple more. A compass and tapestry, those little tiny things you stuck in there for a couple of bucks. So we have sold in Star Wars. We have sold a bunch of kid stuff and toys. So toys are going pretty good. All right.
Yep, that's the CNC. So come up again. We've got Tupperware. Lots of Tupperware. These were $4 each. I can't even remember because they don't put specifically always what the Tupperware was. A vintage fishing lure. I think that was one that was in a box. So
I think it might have just been the box that sold. I could be wrong.
this one was a lure. I remember labeling that. The ones in Bells were the ones that were just a box.
Gotcha.
Printer's drawer. So
that was a Deals and Dives one down in North Carolina too. How much did that sell for?
They did give them a 10% discount on that too, so $22.50.
And we paid $2 for that one, and it's one. I think it might be the very first GoPro yard sale that we did, probably a month and a half ago.
Our Coleman cooler for $12, and that held all the Tupperware, so we had to bring something else in to get the Tupperware from off of the floor. DVDs here, let's see, 1, 2, pretty well with DVDs. I don't think quite as many as Bells, but still quite a few. A Virginia Tech camouflage hat that I was going to list on eBay, and then I'm like, just forget it. And that actually sold for $6, so I'm happy with that.
You get that at eBay? Or eBay? You get that at Goodwill?
Yeah, Goodwill for
$1.
Cents, yeah. Scrabble tiles that were in a jar. They were in a jar.
So that was an experiment. I usually sell Scrabble tiles on eBay, but I just was curious. How much did they go for?
$3.
$3, and it was like 50 Scrabble tiles in a little jar. So I'm probably into that for $1/4, and it sold for $3.
Yep. My favorite thing that was in the booth for this month was a globe that you found at a yard sale, I assume. And it was black, but the countries were made out of different stones and gems, so it was really pretty. That sold for $10. It wasn't very large, but it was very pretty.
That one's at the yard sale that had that really, really nice young man we kept going back to over and over and over again and bought tons of stuff out of.
Yeah, that was my favorite. A figurine, which for $2 I'm assuming was some of the other Halloween or Thanksgiving things there. Then we get back into Tupperware steamers, a meat keeper, a condiment caddy. So somebody did list those. So $5, $6, and $6. So they were good ones.
Tupperware, and we've been paying 50 cents max for the Tupperware max.
Some stickers. Do you have stickers there?
Stickers there would have had to have been something from Happy Little Accident, I think.
Yeah, that's true. It says New York stickers. I think I do remember it's the scrapbooking stickers. A crane hat. So that was a local Lynchburg crane. That was $3. More stickers. Cameras. You did really well with the brownie cameras. So 2 sold at a time for $20. A knife. I think that was a pocket knife.
Pocket knife, yeah.
CD. And this has 2 runners, but they were in the bag, the same bag with the doilies. So that was $5. More cameras. A Kodak camera for $4.
All those cameras we picked them up at a couple yard sales, but we picked a box of cameras up down in North Carolina. I think we paid $10 for the box. We sold one of the cameras in there for like $60 really quick. And so we're already into the profit, and we sold off all the other cameras in the booths, and they made good money too.
Yeah. Talking about deals and knives with him, the Crush lunchbox was in this one. So that sold for $6. More Tupperware. And then you sold one Eneman here. And I sold another jar of my tiny animals, but I had marked those down. And an ashtray, which...
And the tiny animals, I think I brought back from that North Carolina yard sale too. I think that's where we got those. And I sold an ashtray.
I still think they're so cute, yeah. And then Blue Ridge Granny did really well too for her little stuff. She had a kid's rocking chair, and that sold for $20. So way to go, Granny. And she still had some of the Willow Tree Angel figurines. They seem to be really popular, so they're still selling. I think there's only maybe 2 left there now. She sold 1, 2, 3 of those. She sold Sorry Granny, this wall sconce thing that I'm like, ooh, this is ugly. But literally, like, she put it in there, and then I went back 2 days later, and it was gone. So you got me, Granny. Oh, a little tiered, like, dish that you would set little appetizers, candy, whatever on.
It's interesting, and we're not experts, so we've only been doing this a few months, so I don't want to give advice out there to anybody, but it is interesting to see what sells at different places. And so we've sold, would you say, 24 different Tupperware pieces out of there?
So much Tupperware.
And we've maybe sold there. 2 pieces out of the other place. And so that's led us to move stuff from one to the other, because clearly they have different clientele. So I think that that's a lesson that we're learning, what's selling better in different places. And I think that, DVDs and CDs and hopefully cassettes and maybe even VHS tapes, the right ones, are going to help us kind of almost pay our rent for the month. And then the other items, you try to sell one big item a month. We sold the Rock'em Sock'em. Last month it was your, I don't know what you call them, the arches that sold. So I'm not at the point of giving advice, but I think it's interesting that so many toys have sold, so many Tupperware things have sold, things that you wouldn't think. So I think part of my strategy is to bring in some items that you don't typically see in those places, because there's, a ton of, say, insulators, or there's a ton of different types of china. And I think putting things in there that are a little different are good. So like old baseball gloves, they sold really quick. And so that's the kind of thing. We put boots in there, and they sold quick. So I found 2 more boots for like $2 a piece. And so we're trying some different things. And I'm even going to try VHS, because I see no VHS anywhere.
And that's the 80s, 90s too. That stuff just seems to go. And
not just any VHS. I'm going to pick, kids VHS, Disney stuff in clamshells. And then I'm going to try some different types of not adult VHS. That's not what I mean.
Cover your ears, so
VHS for older people.
What are you watching, Commonwealth Picker?
At any rate, we're going to try it. Just a few here and there, and see if any of them
This is still going to be a family channel.
That's right. That's right. Got that, Sophie? Okay. At any rate, thanks for joining us. We'll give you an update. Maybe I'll put on our work in the new booth and how Blue Ridge Mama made it look a little bit better. And Turner, come up here. You want to say hi to him?
What are you doing, Turner man? Say it's finally fall here.
Did you help us with the booth?
So nice outside.
You did? Okay. All right, so thanks for joining us, and hopefully you're learning a little bit as we learn to do these antique booths. And if you know anything out there and want to pass it on to us, if you're been doing a booth for a long time and have any suggestions from what you see, we'll be happy to listen, and we'll be eager to make changes and hopefully make a little bit of money. I think overall, the 2 checks that we got, let's see, we got $241, and our other check was for $142, I think. So roughly $360. We're probably into it for less than 100. We're definitely into it for less than $100. So $260 to $280 profit in the second month in the booths. And my goal is eventually to make 200 out of each booth. And we definitely did that out of one and not the other. So pretty happy with that so far. So thanks for joining us.
All right, looks a lot better now that Blue Ridge Mama put her touches on it. Still not like we like because we want to get some height and block out that area over there and block out that area over there, but it looks pretty good, don't you think?
Yeah.
You like it, Turner?
Yeah.
Look at how pretty. Look at that. You got a lot of Christmas stuff on this side. Look at that. Holy cow. Lots of stuff. All Christmas stuff. Happy little accident stuff. Christmas tree. Not a good idea. Look at that. What do you think, Turner?
Good. Grandma got yeah, nobody ain't you.
I like it. Let's get out of here.